Good morning, guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my thoughts on the new Valentino Donna Born in Roma Intense, which I just recently received. And if you guys have tried this perfume, definitely let me know your thoughts below. Do you like this one or do you prefer the original? I do have a bottle of the original as well, and I'm going to compare and contrast afterwards the two and let you know the differences that I see and which one that I prefer the best if I had to pick one. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. My name's Alithia, and on this channel we do talk a lot about perfume. Do check out the links in the description box below. I have a link tree, and there you will find links to all of my favorite places to shop, as well as discount codes, and also a link to my Instagram, and we can get to know each other over there. And with that out of the way, let's get started in today's video. Okay guys, so this is the new Valentino Donna Born in Roma Intense, and if you guys watch my channel, you know that actually one of my most loved designer perfumes has been the Valentino Donna Born in Roma, just the original one. I do have a bottle of that here, so I can compare this one to the original one. So this one just came out this year, and this is a close-up of what the bottle looks like. It's very, very pretty. It looks just like the other bottle, except it is a little bit more of a dark color, and it kind of has like this ombre gradient effect. So this one I think has actually been selling pretty well. When I looked on Sephora, they sold out of their 10 mils very quickly. I think probably because a lot of people didn't want to invest in a bottle, but they wanted to try the perfume. So I think a lot of people immediately bought the travel size of this. That's probably what I would have done, to be honest, because I didn't really know how I was going to feel about this one. I really like the original one, like I said, but perfumes of course can go either way. There is no such thing as a safe blind buy, and the notes looked really nice. So the notes that you have in here are vanilla, jasmine, and benzoin, and I don't know if there are other notes on any other websites. This is just what is noted on Fragrantica. To me, I think I pick up more in here than just what's noted on Fragrantica. So I do have some testing strips here, and I also have this on my skin. I've worn it for a few hours. I will be honest, I haven't given it a full day wear test. Hey guys, so it's just me interrupting myself from the future to let you know that I did end up giving this a full day wear test, so I can give you a better idea as to exactly how long it lasted, and also whether this one lasted longer than the original Valentino Donna Born in Roma. So I'm going to finish the first part of the video, but I will come back after and update you exactly how long it lasted and my overall impression after I had it on my skin and my clothing for an entire day. To be honest guys, when it comes to longevity, I'm not too concerned with a perfume unless it performs really terribly. If I get 4 or 5 hours on skin, I'm pretty happy. If I can still smell it after a few hours on my skin, I'm pretty happy. That's average for a perfume to last on your skin for about like 6 hours or so. If it lasts for 8 hours, that's like a bonus. That's awesome. And the only time I'm really concerned, or like it's important to me, is to note if it's crazy long lasting or if it really is not good lasting. So I just gave it a spray here on the tester strip. I do have it on my arm, but I wanted to give you guys kind of an idea how I feel when I first spray it. Okay, so to be honest, my first reaction with this perfume was I didn't like the way it smelled when I first sprayed it. My reaction when I sprayed this was kind of like, I don't know if I like that. And what it kind of reminded me a little bit of when I first sprayed it was not that it smells just like it, but it took me to Viktor and Rolf's newest release, which is the Good Fortune. That one was also a vanilla jasmine perfume. This is also a vanilla jasmine perfume. But what this also reminded me of a little bit was it took me to like red berries or a little bit of cherry almost. So I'm not getting cherry per se, but it smells to me like this has like red berries or something in it, which wouldn't be surprising because the original perfume was a berry and woody fragrance. I did look on the Valentino website and I couldn't find if there was any other notes with this perfume, so I wouldn't doubt it if there was some fruity, like it smells fruity to me. So I think there are other notes in here that are not listed. I think there's red berries or wild berries or something like that. And it's also very, very ambery to me. So when I saw the notes, I was kind of hoping it would be vanilla dominant. I really love vanilla perfumes. And I also like the combination of vanilla and benzoin together. I like that sort of creamy, resinous vanilla combination. I think it's very sexy and very warm. This for me goes more in the woody direction. It goes more in the amber direction than it does a vanilla direction. So on paper, I really don't like it, to be honest. I also think it's very strong. That first hit is quite strong. As it starts to dry down on the skin, it does obviously become lighter, and it's not a beast. It did smell stronger than the original one at first spray, but it doesn't dry down like a beast or anything. So putting the paper aside, because perfume, obviously, we don't wear it on paper all day. We wear it on our skin or on our clothing. And on skin, this is much nicer than it was on paper. I just have it on my forearm, and then I have the original one on my wrist. So I like the dry down of this one much better than the opening in the mid. The opening in the mid for me is too much kind of like an ambery red berry. That's what I get. I don't get a ton of vanilla. I do get a little bit of vanilla, and it's kind of a sweet vanilla. But I get a lot of like ambery, woody, and then I get berries, which isn't a favorite combination of mine. You guys know me. You guys know that I don't love like Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. I don't like a lot of predominantly red berry perfumes. It does have more of that woody, ambery, resinous component. So the benzoin, I think, actually is more of the star of the show here. The benzoin comes through more than the other notes, in my opinion. And to be honest, I don't love it. I don't love it. My first reaction, my first thought is that I think I prefer the original one. So let me just pull out the original one here. Okay, so here we have the Valentino Donna Born in Roma Intense, and this is the original. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, I did repurchase a bottle of this one. When I did my big declutter, I wasn't sure that I really needed this one, but at the end of the day, I missed it. It's such a gorgeous, like easy grab and go scent, and that's why I wanted it back in my collection. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a spray on paper, and then I'm gonna tell you the differences that I pick up and which one I really think I prefer. Okay, so I just sprayed the original one on this tester strip here, and I do have the dry down on my wrist as well. And at first spray, I just like the original one so much better. I don't know what it is about it. It's one that I liked it when I first smelled it in store. This was a like to a love at first sniff. It just smells really posh, and it's like girly, easy, grab and go, sweet, flirty, kind of basic if you want to call it basic. You know what I mean? It's kind of like an easy basic perfume, but it's got an edge to it. The Valentino Donna Born in Roma is basic with an edge. It's flirty with an edge, and that's what I love about it. And I think that the bottle also says that. This perfume says I'm flirty and I'm girly, but I have an edge, and that's exactly what it smells like. And I just really love the way this one smells. I mean, it puts a smile on my face. I've worn this perfume a lot of times, you know, with my boyfriend. Actually, I wore this a lot during the summer of 2020, so when everything was on lockdown. And I just remember, like, I know this is not applicable to anybody else, but I have fond memories of wearing this while we were like trying to stay sane and like find things to do that was enjoyable, go for walks at the park and work out at home together. And I just like, I don't know, it just makes me feel cozy. I have nice memories. It's a beautiful perfume, so I'm probably a little bit biased. So the notes that you have in the original Donna Born in Roma are black currant, pink pepper, and bergamot. So there you have your berries coming through. You've got jasmine, jasmine sambac, and jasmine tea. And in the dry down, you have bourbon vanilla, which is one of my favorite types of vanilla. You have cashmere, and you have guaiac wood, or guaiac wood. And I do have the dry down of this one on my wrist. And I just think even though it's very basic, I think it's a very unique scent profile. It doesn't smell like Olivier Bell. It doesn't smell like Flower Bomb, any other designer scent. Even though it's not like, it doesn't smell like a niche perfume. It's not super, it doesn't push the boundaries or anything like that. But it also is it has its own personality. It has its own entity. I think it separates itself from a lot of the other female or like feminine leaning designer perfumes. I just think it's beautiful. I love it. I get the berries. I get a lot of the jasmine. I get the vanilla, but I also get the woodsy notes. It's really nicely balanced, and it doesn't go too far in any direction for me. It doesn't hurt my head. It's not headache inducing. I just think it's a really beautiful, everyday, easy grab and go. The Intense definitely does have more of a vanillic undertone. Definitely more vanilla, definitely more benzoin. Not as much berry. The original is a little bit fresher. It's a little bit more balanced with the florals and the woody notes and the berries. Everything is really nicely balanced. The Intense one definitely is more benzoin and more vanilla. The dry down is nice. The trouble for me is I don't love the opening of the Intense one, but I do like the dry down. And if you're asking me which one is better for a night out, I do think that the Intense one is probably your better bet for a night out. The original one is probably your better like signature scent every day. But this one definitely is heavier on the vanilla and the benzoin in the dry down. I get a lot less of the berry. The woodiness does subside a little bit. That kind of ambery darkness that I didn't love in the opening and the mid of this does settle down, and the deep dry down is more about the vanilla and the benzoin. The trouble with that for me is that I don't know if I want a perfume that I have to get through the opening and through the middle to get the part that I like, because I have so many perfumes that I love the way they smell from opening to finish. And you guys let me know your thoughts on that. Ultimately, with perfumes, we are left with the dry down. The dry down is what sticks with us throughout the day. The dry down is what people smell 2 or 3 hours later. The dry down is what you pick up on your shirt later. So ultimately, we're left with the dry down. I just don't love the opening of this enough, I think, to justify the dry down. So I don't know if that makes sense to you guys or not. At this point as well, they've both been on my arms for a couple of hours, and I will say that the original is just as strong currently to me as the Intense one. At first spray, the Intense one definitely had a lot more oomph. It was a lot more powerful. It was like, oh my gosh, I can tell that's an Intense. At this point in time, now that it's been a couple of hours have passed by, they're both performing about the same amount. I can smell them both equally. Actually, almost the original one might even be projecting a little further than the Intense one. The Intense one is sitting closer to my skin, but it's more vanillic and more benzoin. The original projects a little bit further. Might be because the notes are lighter, so they're kind of wafting off a little bit more. Hey guys, so I thought this was a good time to come back and update you about the performance of the new perfume overall. So after having both of them on my skin for an entire day, the original Donna Born in Roma was very, very soft, if there at all. It had all but disappeared by the end of the day. So we're talking like 8 to 10 hours later, which I think is fairly good. I was still able to smell both of them to a degree for the first probably 5 or 6 hours. They were both pretty good. So I think that they're both moderate in performance. What I did notice was that the Donna Born in Roma Intense, after the first like couple of hours, it was so soft. Very, very close to the skin. I think it's a great sort of Netflix and chill, cuddling, date night, sexy, sensual, when you want someone to be a little bit closer to you, a little bit more sexy, not so much something you want to wear if you're going to enter a room and you want everybody to notice you. It's not like a strong, clubby, loud perfume. It's not something like Jean Paul Gaultier Le Bel Les Parfums, where it's strong to begin with and it continues to be strong and it projects and everybody smells you and it's just like borderline headache inducing. This one is much more soft and much more sensual, I think, owing to that vanilla and that benzoin. And the dry down is stunning. The dry down is very, very nice, but personally, I have other perfumes with similar dry down profiles that have those resinous tones, the vanilla tones, that I just like better. So for me, this one ended up being quite unremarkable, nothing too special. It is nice, but I don't absolutely love it. Whereas the original one for me, I just love the scent profile. For me, the longevity, the performance is perfectly fine. It's about moderate to long lasting, depending, and it's just all around such a great perfume. So if you're asking me, my easy choice between the two is still the first one, and I don't think that I really need to have the second one in my collection. So that's my final thoughts after wearing them both for the entire day. I think I prefer the original. I just think I prefer the original because I love all parts of the original, and I really like all parts of the original. Like, I love how it smells when I first spray it. I love how it smells when I catch it on my clothing later. I like how it wears. I think it's super sexy and super feminine. I have to get through the opening of the other one to get to the part that I like, and I just don't think that's worth it for me, especially with all the price markups these days. I will say that maybe this perfume is designed to be more of a sensual, like come closer to me kind of fragrance, and maybe that's why it's not projecting super far, and it is a little bit softer. It's a little bit more, it is a sexy perfume. It is very sensual, sexy, good for date nights. Definitely reminds me of like going out to a lounge or a club or something like that. It's giving me Little Black Dress. Yeah, it's giving me night out vibes. The scent perfectly matches the bottle. I just don't love how it smells for like the first good while. I have to really wait till it dries down before I really like it. I think it's fairly mass pleasing. I think a lot of people would like it. I was expecting to like it more than I do. If I would have sprayed it in store, I think I would have just walked away. Like if I didn't have a perfume channel, I probably wouldn't have given this one a second thought. That's the truth. Whereas the original one was kind of like an instant like to a love at first sniff. So that is my idea on the new Valentino Donna Born in Roma Intense and compared to the original. If you guys have tried any of these, let me know down below which one is your preference. And if you haven't tried the new, let me know if you're interested in trying this one. And yeah, that's it for today's video. So that was it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and also don't forget to let me know down below your thoughts if you've tried this perfume and if it's something you're interested in getting for yourself. And I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.